A Punnett square is a way to show the possible genotypes of a cross between two individuals. In this case, we have Fido and Princess. Now you'll remember that Fido had a height that we represented as H, a capital H, capital H. And the reason we use capital is because remember that gene that made his height made the strong protein, so we're giving that the capital letters. In our Punnett square, we're going to take those two H's. We're going to add 1 to 1 square at the very top. So across here is going to be Fido's. Fido will be our rows up here. And we'll add his other H here. So we have his phenotype, capital H, because remember, every cell has 2 copies of the DNA. Princess, however, had the short phenotype, which means her genotype was a lowercase h and a lowercase h. That one was not as strong. That's why we gave her the lowercase. But we put Fido here. We're going to put Princess here. So her first H is going to go in this square. Her second H is going to go in this square. Now these inner squares, we're going to figure out what are the possible offspring by looking at Fido up here and Princess over here. So this square could get a possible capital H from Fido and a possible lowercase h from Princess. So a possible capital H from Fido and a possible lowercase h from Princess. Because remember, when we have our sex cells, we have 1 copy of the gene from each of the parents. Okay, what about this square? Well, we have a capital H we could get from Fido and a lowercase h that we could be getting from Princess. So this one also has a capital H, lowercase h. What about this possibility? Well, we could get a capital H from Fido, and we can get a lowercase h from Princess. So this one is a possible capital H, lowercase h. And then here, what can we get from Fido? The only option, again, is a capital H from Fido and a lowercase h from Princess. So you can see these offspring, out of these 4 possibilities, there's a 4 out of 4 chance or 100% probability that the offspring are all going to have a genotype of capital H and lowercase h. Now let's talk about what that means for the phenotype. We know that the capital H stood for a tall height and that the lowercase h stood for a short height. And we talked about that as being a strong protein or a weak protein. But what does that really mean? What it means is that the strong protein, only 1 copy of that protein is needed in order to show the trait. So that means that if you only get 1 capital H, that's the trait that's going to come in. You need 2 lowercase h's to show a short, but you only need 1 capital H, 1 strong protein to be high, to get the high height. So what in science terms, we call that being dominant for the one that's the strong protein, or recessive for the one that's the weak protein. Dominant means only 1 of that type of protein is needed to show that trait. Recessive means you would need both of your genes, both of your strands of DNA to have that in order to show that trait. So what phenotype are the puppies going to have if they have a big H and a little h genotype? Well, they only need 1 of these to be tall. So they only have 1. And then since that's dominant, the phenotype, it means that the puppies will all be tall.